So that's going to be an all-time record. A little history lesson for you this morning, just to get this thing started. In 1773, a group of American patriots, about 75 of them, dressed as Indians, boarded some British merchant ships in Boston Harbor. And they threw this tea overboard, the crates of tea, and that was the very first Tea Party movement in our country, 1773. Well, significance of this is that just 2 years later, 1775, it became the American Revolution, and you know what happened from there. Now, the tea tax was only 25%. 25% import duty and tax. What they were really protesting was taxation without representation. That was the saying. And they were saying, hey, you guys in England, you don't know what's going on over here in the American colonies. We don't want you governing us and raising taxes. So that's the history. And I'm going to sort of fast forward on our calendar to 2011. And in 2011, we have the following taxes, just to name a few. And remember, I only have 2 minutes. Federal and state income tax, cigarette tax, corporate tax, dog license, fishing, food, fuel, gas, hunting and inheritance, inventory, liquor license, luxury marriage license, real estate, social security, property, road uses, recreational vehicle, school, unemployment, excise, utility, telephone, federal, telephone, state and local, telephone, reoccurring and non-reoccurring. That's just to name a few of the taxes we have today. Now wait a minute. Hey, okay, so we have all these taxes. What do we get? We get things like TARP. TARP is the Troubled Asset Relief Program. Under Bush, we get the stimulus program under Obama. You know, where he said that unless we had the stimulus program, that the unemployment was going to go all the way up to 8%. Well, guess what, Mr. President? It's over 8%. It's almost 16% if you use the real figures, and that's part of your deal. We get ownership in companies like AIG, General Motors, Chrysler, you know, companies that quite frankly should have failed because they stink and they had bad management, and other assets as well. We get the Obamacare system. We get an absolute mess with illegal immigration. We get a mosque being built at Ground Zero, and don't forget, we get the loss of our states' rights in the 9th and 10th Amendment. I say to you this morning in 2011, we still have taxation without representation. Now for the good part of this presentation. You, the people, we, the people, have the right to vote and say no new taxes. Thank you.
By the way, before I forget, I always get a little nervous when the legislature's in session, and y'all should too. But we've got some real patriots in that building. Yesterday, the House of Representatives voted in favor of a bill that would stop Obamacare here in Idaho. Make sure you tell the state Senate that you want a hearing on that bill, and y'all will want to be there. Now, our next speaker is a person who I remember years ago who has been fighting for freedom and liberty for a long time, and it really embodies the spirit of American patriots everywhere who are fighting for their families, their kids, and their grandkids. Please welcome, from Idahoans for Liberty, Lori Shoemaker.
Thanks, Wayne. Yes, I'm a mother of 2 and a wife. I was a stay-at-home mom for a long time, but I guess I'm becoming a rare breed because we're all being forced to get jobs so that we can support our families. Today I wanted to talk about entitlements. They're immoral and unethical. Today we seem to have lost the idea of the ethics of self-governing. We are more concerned with our own special interests even at the expense of someone else's personal rights. When we vote, our ethics say, even though an issue may be good for me, that it's unfair to others. Our morals say we vote for our own special interest at a cost to someone else. Those two words, ethics and morals, are often used as the same word. Ethics talk of what we should do, and morals talk about what we actually do. In a country that was founded on the principles of freedom and limited government, we relied on the self-governing of the individual with freedom, as compared to living with privileges granted to us by the government and no real freedoms. We have a lot of legislation coming up that will cost taxpayers a substantial amount of money. People who own no land will be voting to decide if we should tax those who do own land, so the general public can experience gain at someone else's expense. Some landowners will vote to go ahead and tax someone else because their special interests may be on the line. Their job, their friend's job, their kids' sports. So at someone else's expense, they or their friends will gain. Not only will they vote to tax a neighbor, it will be enforced by law. If somebody does not pay their property tax, they could lose their property. What is being said is cough up some money, and if you don't or can't, you should be penalized to the point of losing your home. Those morals do not sound very ethical to me. Is it right that 51 people, some with no financial obligation at all, tell 49 of their neighbors what they must spend their money on? With the lack of a sound economy right now, should we be putting more pressure on those who are barely getting by? If you don't know yet, times are tough. 43 million people in the USA are on food stamps. Foreclosures are at a record high, food prices are rising, gas prices, we know. If you haven't been affected by this economy, count your blessings. But do not make your neighbor count their curses by giving them one more bill that they might not be able to pay. A lot of people talk about taking this country back. It will never happen unless the people are willing to self-govern, expecting their rights and observing others' rights. It's time to vote ethically, vote no on taxes and fees.